Okay, so I'll tell you what.
We'll get it all figured out.
I'll tell you what. If you want me to run it one more time, I'll run it one more time. But if it doesn't come back, then you're gonna come with me, okay? That's all there is to it.
I could help you all here. Who was driving? Who was driving? She doesn't have to ID unless she's suspected of a crime. She does not have to ID unless she's suspected of a crime.
So I'm gonna. Okay, if you want to listen to him, you want to listen to me, I'm the one in charge.
He's not in charge in the courtroom.
June 29th, 2021, Albuquerque, New Mexico. Mario with YouTube channel Block the Blue and myself were out watching police.
Also, if you're new to this channel, there's no telling what's really going to happen. Sometimes I'm a smartass, sometimes I'm polite, sometimes Mario tells cops to suck a sometimes, yeah.
Almost a guarantee.
Yeah. Sometimes the cops are nice to us and we're nice to them. Sometimes the cops say something stupid like, can you get back? And I say something stupid like, can you go get me a Dr. Pepper?
Guys, there's a link in the description below to sign up for the same legal services that I use. These services will give you 24-hour emergency access to your attorney in case you're ever detained. The services are also good for a number of other things such as fighting civil citations. When you use my link to sign up, I'm personally going to mail you a welcome package. I am not a lawyer and nothing I say is legal advice, but by signing up for these services, you can have access to all the legal advice you want. Link is in the description and the top right corner of your screen right now.
We're just recording him if that's okay with y'all. Not really? Oh, okay. They pull you over or what? Doing their job? All right, I'm going to go ahead and talk over this because she's given a address out. So I'm just going to talk over the top of it to just cancel out the audio there from her.
This was streamed live on one of my other channels. I was also talking over the important parts of the conversation between the officer and the female, so I'll just narrate what was happening. The officer is trying to get the ID of the female. He's telling her that whatever information she gave him is not coming back in his computer. At this point in the stream, I also didn't know why he was trying to get her ID, but we'll find that out in just a couple of minutes.
But you said you're lying to me. It's not
A cigarette? I got you, man.
You were born in 1999. Since 19. Doesn't make you 20. Okay, so I'm just letting you know. If you're giving me the wrong information, then I'm gonna take you down to the ID unit. Okay.
Thanks, man.
Who was the driver? Hey, man. Who was the driver? Was it you or her?
I'm just telling you, is that the information that you're giving me? Okay, so you're not going to give me your right information? Okay. So, if you're not going to give me the right information, then you're going to go through. Because your information is not coming back, and you're already telling me you're giving me the wrong information. You're saying that you're born in 1999, and that you're 19, that you're 20, and that you're 21. You know how old that would make you?
20.
No, that wouldn't. That would make you 22.
1999? I'm born in 99.
Okay.
I'm born in 99.
Okay. Just hang tight, bro. Okay.
Sounds like you make it 22.
Okay. Just hang tight.
I'm born in 99.
Just hang tight. Okay. So. Okay. So that's the information that you're gonna give. That you're gonna stick with.
I'm 21.
Okay. So then you're gonna need to come with me, okay? Because I'm gonna need to get you through. Okay. Because your information's not.
If they would answer the question about who was driving, I could help, but they want to be slaves.
I'm not going to add anything.
But they want to be slaves. If he was driving and she was not, she doesn't have to ID.
Take you down to the ID unit, and they get you fingerprinted. And if you are who you say you are and everything came back, we'll bring you back there.
I will say this, I regret trying to help these people. I really should have kept my mouth shut because they want the police to do what they're doing to them. As you saw when I first walked up, the male said, oh, they're just doing their job. It is not their job to ID people who are not suspected of a crime or a driving infraction. This girl failed to be educated about what her rights are and therefore failed to attempt to assert her rights right off the bat. At this point, she's given information and the officer alleges that the information is fake. While you don't have to give your information unless you're suspected of a crime in the state of New Mexico, giving false information is a crime. I think that people mistakenly believe that some of us are out there fighting for your freedom. The only person that can assert your individual rights is you. If you mistakenly believe that some activist or police officer or politician out there is going to keep you either free and or safe, you're badly mistaken. Both your liberty and your safety are your own responsibility. And if you leave either one of those things in the hands of somebody else, you will lose them.
Because, yeah.
Honestly, why are we scared of
Can I talk to her? Can I talk to her?
Scaring her.
Can I talk to
You're
her?
really scaring her.
Can I talk to her? Okay. Listen, I'm not acting like she's a criminal. I'm being very respectful. I'm being very nice.
What would she need to hide?
It's not coming back to my
Can
system.
you run it one more time? Sir.
Okay.
Sir. Can you please run it one more time?
Thanks, Cream Sandwich. Glove on his hand.
Every time one of you guys, I have a big history.
Gloves on
Every time you guys
hand.
run my name never pops up.
Your name popped up fine.
Okay, well
Your name popped up fine, and you don't have a valid driver's license.
a lot of times they
Okay.
don't pop up.
Well,
What was
I'm telling
she-
you right now that it's not.
What
Okay.
was she to hide?
So
we've
okay,
been cordial,
so I'll tell
respectful. Just let him talk to
I'll
her.
tell you what.
We'll get it all figured out.
I'll tell you what. If you want me to run it one more time, I'll run it one more time. But if it doesn't come back, then you're gonna come with me. Okay? That's all there is to it.
I could help you all here.
Can you?
Who was driving? Who was driving? She doesn't have to ID unless she's suspected of a crime.
Understand that?
She does not have to ID unless she's suspected of a crime.
Okay, so I'm gonna. Okay, if you want to listen to him,
I'll get you a lawyer too. We'll sue the shit out of this boy.
if you want to listen to me, I'm the one in charge.
He's not in charge in the courtroom.
Okay, I'll run it one more time. How's that?
Well,
What's your birthday? What's your birthday? man?
Giving a false ID is illegal, but not giving one at all is not.
What's your birthday? man? Okay, and your social.
He said he's in charge. So to the viewers, giving a false ID is illegal, but refusing to ID when you haven't been suspected of a crime is not illegal. So to the viewers watching,
So what do you?
you don't have to give an ID if you're not suspected of a crime.
Okay. So you're gonna finish giving me your social? Okay. So I'm gonna run it one more time. If it doesn't come back, ma'am, then you're gonna go with me, okay?
So she had already given the officer information, but then even after being told that she doesn't have to ID unless she's suspected of a crime, she gives the officer information again. This is a perfect example showing that it doesn't matter if James Freeman knows how to assert his rights. It's not going to help this woman sitting on the curb who doesn't know how to assert her rights. Your liberty and your safety are your own responsibility, and even the most well-meaning person cannot take that responsibility from you.
Shit.
No, not at all. You guys
We're trying to get on our feet. We got a job.
Where's my
We got us a
freaking...
car. We're not here fucking.
Yeah, like I said, man, we're not the the vehicle, the license plate doesn't match the vehicle.
We're not out
So-
here breaking the law at all. Can I speak to you?
Yeah,
Hey, ma'am, if you haven't committed a crime, they can't even detain you.
I haven't.
So you maybe ask if you're detained, because if you haven't committed a crime, you can walk away. Why don't you ask him if he's detaining you?
I just don't want them to take this car.
They're going to do what they're going to do. I would ask if you're being detained. It needs to be clear.
Why am I not doing that?
Is it
Boss, you know better, man. You know better.
So you're gonna come with us, okay? You wanna? You could take your phone or you could take the keys, but go ahead and stand up.
For you right now.
You're gonna come with me. Okay. So just to let you know, you are the Albuquerque Police Department.
Mom,
You
let's
both
go
are
for
being
Rihanna.
detained, and you both are being recorded. Okay?
I would ask what you're being detained for.
And you're gonna just go in my car. You have to be like.
Can you call my mom, please?
Ask what you're being detained for.
What am I being detained for?
we're gonna leave the vehicle with you, but we're gonna take the license.
Chavez doesn't want to tell her what she's being detained for.
Get the car.
Okay. We're coming for you now. We need to go for you.
She was the passenger. She doesn't even have to ID.
Downtown. No. We're trying to fuck with her. We're trying to fuck with her.
Call my mom.
I'm trying to get out.
Pennsylvania coppers.
The problem is I'm not being detained. She is, so the lawyer's not going to answer on an emergency call for her, for me. Well, here's the problem, guys. Giving a false ID is illegal. So if he could articulate that, she gave a false ID. Well, I don't know if she did or not, but he believes that she gave a false ID. It's illegal to give a false ID no matter what. It is not illegal to not ID if you haven't committed a crime. As the passenger who did not commit a crime, she never had to give them any information at all. But to give false information is a crime. Make sense? And I don't know, maybe she's giving truthful information and it's just not coming back in their system. I don't know.
Do you have a lock? Do you have a... Yeah.
But that's Officer Chavez. If you guys want to contact the Albuquerque Police Department, it's Unit B49. And guys, these are things that you need to know before this happens. You need to know it before it happens. If she had known beforehand that she's not suspected of a crime, she doesn't have to say anything, then she could have given him no information.
Baby, don't say nothing. We're coming for you right now, okay? I love you.
It's very, very difficult to help you once you're in the middle of a situation that you didn't pre-educate yourself for. And Chavez knows. These guys will take advantage of the weak. That's what they do. That's what bullies do. They take advantage of the weak. And so they're going to sniff you out. They're going to smell you. They're going to know when you're weak. And guys like Chavez are going to bully you when you're weak. When you don't know that you don't have to ID, they sniff it out.
What we'll do, if she says this, then we'll bring it back.
She has to assert her own rights too, though. I cannot assert her rights for her. And that's what I'm talking about when I first walked up here and this kid's saying, oh, they're just doing their job. Unless you assert your own rights, I cannot do it for you. I can't say, hey, she doesn't want to give ID. She's not suspected of a crime. It doesn't matter. I can't do that for her. She has to do that for herself. And each and every one of you watching have to do that for yourself. Nobody else can do that for you. But when you've got that attitude of oh, they're just doing their job, that's not going to help you out, man. These guys are not your friends. Period. End of story. They are not your friends. I have never, ever, ever tied up one of my friends, bound their hands together, and stuck them in the back of a car that they can't get out of. Never done that to any of my friends, and none of my friends have ever done that to me. All right, there was this one ex-girlfriend, but it was consensual, okay? We're not going to talk about that here. She had every right to remain silent, to not ID because she wasn't suspected of a crime, because she spoke and failed to assert her rights. She's in the back of a cop car. You see how that works? Do you need a ride down there? Do you know where they're going? You got yourself into this by licking boots, man.